Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this video, we will continue to learn operators after we learn about variable and data types. The learning objective of this video are that the student know some operators in C++ and then they know the priority of the operators, and also they know some of short form of operators, and then the last objective is that they know how to use division operator correctly. So let us start by discussing what is operators. So as you know that operand are stored in variables, which we have already learned in the previous videos, and then those variables can be operated by using some operators. Of course, in mathematical sense, if we have operand, then we can do an operation to that operand and it will give result. So in the programming language, this is similar with the in mathematical sense, that if we have variables or we have operands, then we can do some operation by using operators. Operators in C++ include arithmetic operation and then decreasing or increasing operation, combination operation, and bit manipulation operation. So here the example of those operator. The first is arithmetic operators. We have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and also remainder. Maybe in your high school it is not common to discuss this remainder in mathematical subject. However, in programming, in computer science, this is common to be used, which is remainder operator. And the other operator is increment, and the symbol is this plus plus. This is the sort notation, or the sort notation of the operator, but this one equal to this operation. So it means that if I have x variable x, whatever the value of the x, then we increase it by 1. So this means that we increase the variable by 1. This is also for the decrement. We have minus minus, double minus. This equal to we decrease the value of a variable by 1. And then we have combination operator, some kind like this, x plus equal I. This is equal to the expression of this. So x, whatever the value of the x, it will be increased by I. So this is the long the long format for doing increment by I. This is the short format or expression, increasing x by I. And then we have also bit operators, like this one. The symbol is less than, double less than. It means that we shift the bit. Of course, the representation of the value, it should be in the binary form. Okay, so this bit operator should be in the binary. I mean, the value of the variable should be in binary. Suppose if you have x, sorry, this one. Okay, wait. this should be okay. Suppose like you have x equal to 4. If you want to do bit operators, then computer or C++ will convert this 4 into a binary number, so it will be 1 0 0. Okay, so if you do shift bit to the left, then it will be 1 0 0 0 like this. Shift bit to the right, so you will have 1 0. Okay, so you shift to the right because this is 0 0 0 something like this. So if you shift to the right, then it will be 1 and 0. If you shift to the left, then you have 1 0 0 0. Okay, and this operation, AND operation, OR operation, exclusive OR operation, and NOT, if you have learned the logic informatic or logic operation of AND, OR, exclusive OR, and NOT, this is this operator will work using this binary representation. Suppose like if you have like this, if you do an operator, then this will be 0 0, this is 0 0, everything is 0. If you have OR, then you have 0 0, this is 1 1 0 0. You need to learn this, what is how to do an operator or an operation or operation, exclusive or operation, and not operation individually. We will not cover this discussion of this operator in this video. Okay, so this is an example. Suppose I have two data types which are integer and float, and I have for the integer 2 variables, and the float is also 2 variables. Here are 3 variables here, and if we do the addition, this is j plus I, this is integer plus integer, so the result should be integer. Okay, I mean, if you use float here for the variable which store the result, then it's also okay, but you will have in the decimal place it will be 0. Okay, so if you have integer plus integer, then you can store in integer or you can store in float. And if you have this one, this is x float and y is also float. If you multiply and store in the float, then that's okay, but if you put in the integer, then it will be different for the result. We will see the detail of this later. This is another example. Suppose you have I equal to 2, j equal to 7. You can try this with your program, with your computer, and with your C++ programming. You can write down the source and try to compile and see the result and what happened there. Suppose like if I have this I and j, so I have to change this I into a binary representation. This is 2, so I will have 1 and 0, so the other will be 0 here, and then j, this is I, and then j is equal to 7, so I will have, this is 4, this is 2, this is 1, so we sum of them, it will be 7. So this is 0 and 0, and you do the AND operator, and also you do the OR operator. So this for the AND operator, it will be this is 0, this is 1, 0, 0, 0. So if you do the AND operator, the result will be 2. This will be equal to 2. This rest, the result will be equal to 2. Okay, you can try the other operator. And then here, the important thing in all our operators in C++, this is the most important operators. Why I said that this is the most important? Because this operator, it's it's frequently give error in your program. I mean, it is not a syntactical error, but it will give you a logical error if you do not use if you do not know how to use this correctly. So programmers must be careful when they do division in C++, because it will round the result. So this is the source of the problem, that if we do not know how this operator will work, then there is rounding, automatically rounding in our C++. So you have to be careful. So you have to pay attention, especially for the data type. So the problem is come from the data type. So you have to use correct data type when you use division operator. Else you will have rounding automatically, and you don't know that C++ do this rounding. So the result will be different with your intention. Okay, suppose I have this one. This I have I and j, two variables with integer and three variables with integer and three variables with float. And here the rest1 and rest2 is for storing the result of the operator, division operator. So here I have the first operation is integer divide by integer, and then I store in integer. So integer divide by integer. So definitely we will have rounding. Suppose integer divide by integer, it can be decimal, right? It will be a float. But if you store in integer, then it will be rounded. Okay, this result will be rounded into an integer. Okay, you can try this program in your computer. And the second one, if you have integer divide by integer, so integer divide by integer, and you put the result in a float, then nothing will happen. I mean that it will run correctly, but you have to be careful that when you do integer divide by integer, this result will be rounded into an integer. Okay, so this will be stored in the float, so we don't have any decimal places in here. So in this float we will have 0 for the decimal place. Okay, which one is the most correct one? So if you want to do division, here I give you the correct pattern is that if you do division, then float divide by float, this is okay, or float divide by integer, or integer divide by float. Of course the result should be in float. This you don't have any round, you don't have any rounding operation in this form. Okay, but if you have integer divided by integer, then it will be rounded. So you have to be careful. And also, if you store with integer, then it will be rounded. Okay, if you want to do rounding, my suggestion is that you can use the facilities of rounding function to do rounding in C++, which are floor and ceil. So floor is rounding to below, and ceil rounding to above. Or you can casting to integer, but cast to integer will be similar to, with floor. In my opinion, I better to use floor or ceil rather than casting to another data type. But if you use floor, it will be directly converted into integer. This is also, but you have not to forget to include this. If you use floor and ceil, you use CMath, you have to include CMath in your program. This is for example, suppose I have 8 divided by 3. So here this is float, this is integer. Why this is float? Because I have this decimal places here, even though it is nothing here, but you can consider that this is 0. So 8 divided by 3 in float, it will be 2 something, but I do floor. Because I do floor, then it will be 2 integer. The same as you do ceiling. If you have 8 divided by 3, you have 2 comma something, then it will be rounded to above, become 3 in integer. This is also the same like floor. Okay, and this is the priorities of our operators that we have learned. So the first priority, if you have variables, or you have some operators in your expression, suppose like you have x plus y multiplied by z and then divided by a plus b, c, like this. So many operators in your expression, then there will be priority to do that operation. So which one will be the first operation, which one will be the second, third, and so on. So the priorities of operators in C++, in several programming language, they have also the same priorities. The first is bracket, and then we have this not, and then this is increment, decrement, and then we have multiplication, division, and remainder, addition, subtraction, and so on. So they are the priorities of our operators. Okay, now I hope you can answer this quiz. So first, mention a few operators in C++. We have arithmetic, and then decrement, increment, and then bit operation, decrement of okay, and then sort, format, or okay, Yeah, this is the short format of long operation. Yeah. And then what are the meaning of this less than twice, this less than symbol, double less than symbol? This is shift the bit to the left, and then this one is x equal to x multiplied by something, suppose I. So if I have x equal to I, so this is similar. This one is x minus minus is x equal to x minus 1 decrement. And then how to use division operators correctly. So when you're using division operator correctly, you have to use one of the operand in float, suppose like this, an integer, or integer float, or float divided by float, and it will be stored in the float. Okay, float should be the resulting variable should be in the float, and then the operand, one of them should be float. And then what operator is similar to floor rounding? So this integer casting. What is the result of this arithmetic operation? So you have to look for the first operator or the priority. So this will be the first priority. The first priority. So C++ will do this operation first, and then this one. Okay, and then the division. After the division, we can do this summation or this subtraction. So that's the same, just I will take the summation first, and then I will do the subtraction, and then I will do this operand and this operand. Okay, and then define this arithmetic operation in C++. So I have this expression in mathematical expression, and I will convert this into a C++ expression. So I will have 4, right, and then plus 12 multiplied by 2 divided by 4 plus 2 minus 3. So you have to be careful that you have to do this 12 multiplied by 2, right? So based on the operator priority, I will do 12 multiplied by 2 first before summing with 4, or before dividing by 4. But you have to be careful when you do this plus 4 plus 2. It means that you have to do this first before to divide this 12 multiplied by 2. So if you don't have the bracket, then you will do this operator 2 divided by 4. 2 divided by 4. That's not correct. So you have to put this bracket. Okay, and then to make it what do you call it, to guarantee that your expression correct, you better to put bracket like this one. Okay, this is just for make sure that your expression is safe, or that your expression is correct. Okay, that's all for this video.